Imagine this. You're short on cash, so you buy the $10 boots instead of the $50 ones. Smart move, right? You just saved $40. Except here's what actually happened. Those cheap boots fall apart in 6 months. You buy another pair, and another. Over 5 years, you've spent $100 on boots, while the person who bought the expensive pair spent $50 once, and they're still wearing them. You didn't save money. You paid double for having less money to begin with. This is the poverty premium, and it's charging you interest on being broke. Let me show you how deep this rabbit hole goes. This concept comes from author Terry Pratchett, and it explains the wealth gap better than most economics textbooks. A wealthy person buys quality boots for $50 that last 10 years. A poor person can only afford $10 boots that fall apart every year. Over that same decade, the poor person spends $100 and still has wet feet. The rich person spent half as much and stayed dry. This isn't a story about boots. It's about how poverty forces you to pay a premium for not having capital. And this pattern repeats everywhere in your life. Walk into Costco with $50, and you can buy a mega pack of toilet paper for 50 cents per roll. But if you only have $5, you're stuck buying the small pack at the corner store for $1.50 per roll. Same product. You're paying 3 times more because you couldn't afford to buy in bulk. Mayonnaise, laundry detergent, diapers. Everything costs more when you're broke because you're locked out of bulk discounts. Your inflation rate is literally higher than someone with money. Now let's talk about where this gets truly predatory. Banking. If you maintain $10,000 in your checking account, banks give you free checking, no fees, maybe even interest. But if you're struggling with $20 in your account and an auto renewal hits for $25, you go negative by $5. Does the bank help you out? No. They charge you a $35 overdraft fee. Think about that interest rate. You borrowed $5 for one day and paid $35. That's a 700% APR. If a loan shark did this, they'd be arrested. When a bank does it, it's policy. Banks made billions last year almost exclusively from people with less than $1,000 in their accounts. The rich earn interest. The poor pay it. It's a wealth transfer disguised as service fees. But here's what makes this even worse. When you're financially stressed, studies show your cognitive function drops by about 13 IQ points. That's equivalent to pulling an all-nighter. Your brain is so consumed with survival that you lose the ability to make good long-term decisions. This is why people take payday loans with 400% interest or buy lottery tickets. It's not stupidity. It's cognitive overload from constant financial panic. Let's scale this up. Cars. A person with good credit buys a 3-year-old Honda for $20,000, gets a loan at 5% interest, and drives it for 10 years with minimal maintenance. Someone with bad credit and no savings needs a car to get to work. They go to a predatory buy here, pay here lot. They sell a $4,000 clunker for $8,000 at 24% interest. By the end of that loan, they've paid $15,000 for a car worth $4,000. And it'll probably break down before it's paid off. You're not just buying a car. You're paying a poverty penalty because the system decided you're risky. And the only way to stop being risky is to have money, which you can't save because you're paying the penalty. Housing is even worse. When you rent, you're paying your landlord's mortgage plus profit. You might pay $2,000 monthly for an apartment that would cost $1,200 if you owned it. But to buy, you need a $20,000 down payment. If rent is eating 50% of your income, you'll never save that. The wealthy person buys, lowers their monthly cost, and gains an appreciating asset. The poor person pays more for something they'll never own. Being broke means you're renting your entire existence. There's also a hidden tax on your time. If you own a washer and dryer, laundry takes 5 minutes. If you use a laundromat, It costs $5 in quarters plus 2 hours of your life traveling and waiting. That's 2 hours you can't work, rest, or spend with family. Living in a food desert, you'll pay inflated prices at the corner store or spend an hour on the bus to reach affordable groceries. Poverty doesn't just steal your money, it steals your time, which steals your future earning potential. So what's the way out? The answer isn't sexy, but it's real. You need a buffer. That first $1,000 in savings is the weapon that destroys the poverty premium. With $1,000 saved, a flat tire is annoying, not catastrophic. You can raise your insurance deductible and lower your monthly premium. Having money actually reduces your bills. You can buy the bulk toilet paper. Fix the small problem before it becomes expensive. That first $1,000 is the hardest money you'll ever save, but it switches the game from defense to offense. Here's your action step. Audit your life for vampire costs caused by being broke. Where are you bleeding money simply because you don't have money? High-interest debt? Buying items repeatedly instead of once? Paying late fees? Identify your biggest leak. Then cut everything else ruthlessly until you have cash to plug that leak permanently. This journey is unfair. It takes 10 times more effort to go from $0 to $10,000 than from $10,000 to $100,000. But once you understand that being broke is a mathematical penalty, you can stop blaming yourself and start attacking the penalties. You stop playing their game and start playing yours. One quality purchase at a time. Thanks for watching. If this video made you even a little uncomfortable, hit subscribe, because this channel isn't about comfortable lies, it's about uncomfortable truth.